You know what would be better than watching this commercial? Watching your commercial. Join the party that is Make Your Day Richer TV by advertising your brand, business, or project during the show. Use us to promote what you're doing to make our viewers' day richer. Scan the QR code or visit makeyourdayricher.com/advertising to start promoting today.
Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
It's New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. I hope you're all doing great today. I hope you'll have fun plans with family, friends tonight. It's going to be a good end of the year. We have some people coming over to the house just to play some games. We love games. We have an entire cabinet full of games, and we just keep buying games. And so we'll have people over to do that. And I think it should be really fun. So I'm excited to I have to make guacamole. I can make like two things, and vegan eggs are one of them, and guacamole is the other. And so I'm in charge of the guac tonight. But it's going to be fun. I'm excited. We've got party favors. We've got all kinds of fun stuff. A little photo backdrop so people can take photos. But be safe, whatever you're doing. I'm not leaving my house, so that's the way I like it. And if you are looking for how to spend your Amazon gift cards that you got for Christmas, go to makeyourdayrricher.com/shop and go shopping there at our Amazon store. All the things that I love. We're adding stuff all the time. So go check that out and buy yourself a little something and support the show by doing it. So there you go. Big news. So we've got all new shows all week, even tomorrow. We've got a brand new show. And then again on Thursday and Friday, like we always do. And then starting on Monday, we're expanding the show to 2 guests per show, which is very exciting. Our partnership with Podmatch has just been extremely exciting and busy. And so you're going to get 2 guests every day starting on Monday. Be back. More new shows. And I think today, this is episode 2024. I don't know what happened to 2024. They always say, like, when you get older, time goes by faster, and I think it's true. I don't know what happened. Some amazing things have happened to me in my personal life, in business life. It's been an crazy year, and I couldn't have done it with all of you supporting the show, watching the show. So make sure right now is a good time to just share the show. Press the button, get it out of the way, share the show. And I took, so many leaps of faith this year, and it has just been a remarkable year. I feel like a completely different person than I did the first few months of the year, and I love it. It makes me so happy. And thank you for coming on the ride. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for all of the businesses and people that have hired me to help with their podcast this year, their live streams this year. It's just been a really fun year. I can't wait for 2025, which starts tomorrow, oddly enough, in the middle of the week. All right, let's get to the show because Kristin Duffy is here and she is amazing. So she was feeling frustrated by the lack of meaningful roles for women over 35. My guest today decided to take matters into her own hands. Kristin Duffy founded Slackline Productions to create more opportunities for women in theater and film. She's also a podcast host, a 5-time Ironman triathlete, and a former fashion designer. Here is Kristin Duffy. Kristin Duffy, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well, Richard. How are you?
I have no complaints at all, especially now that you're here, because you have so much to talk about and have had such an amazing life and have created a life for yourself. How long have you not lived in the States?
It's been 14 years. somehow.
Where did you grow up?
I was originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. Spent
Uh,
several years in New York City in between, working in the fashion industry, and then yeah, I'm in London now.
do you obviously love it there? It's been 14 years.
Yeah, people always say, "Do you like it?" And I'm like, "Well, I guess I like it enough that I've stayed 14 years, worked to
Yeah.
get citizenship, so I'm a dual citizen now, all that kind of stuff." So, yeah. Yeah, it's good.
What, if I can ask, prompted the move?
So, you can ask, but the story is, it was my ex.
Mm,
Um, he, basically had been working in London quite a bit, and I kind of always said, if they ever offered us moving there, I would consider it. So it came up. I was at a kind of career junction where I was ready for something new. And so, yeah, it was perfect timing. And, it was supposed to be originally 6 to 12 months. And then it was 3 to 5 years, which, was a big difference because 3 to 5 years actually made me pause, which I'm not one to always pause. And then, here I am 14 years later. So,
that's insane. That's so crazy. Did you start your production company while you were over there?
yes, yes. Basically, I had studied acting here in the UK. And once I finished my acting diploma, realized that there were less opportunities, let's say. The stereotype is true. There were less opportunities coming into it as a second career and, in my 30s. So it was something that it was like, well, I could complain about it or I could do something about it.
I love that. Like, true sign, I always say, like, true sign of artists and creators is like, you saw it and you were like, well, then I'll just make it. So that's where
Yeah, I mean,
Slackline
you don't really
Productions
have
was
a
born.
choice. Yeah,
Yeah.
even the people that were in a more quote unquote traditional age group, I guess, the recommendation from our tutors and the head of the program was like, you have to get out and make stuff no matter what. People are not always going to, you can't sit by the phone if, to use an old
Yeah.
cliche. Yeah. So I think, yeah, there is something to be said about being willing to go out there and get stuff done.
Can you talk about what a production company is, does, what a producer does? I think all those words, especially for people not in the industry, they don't really know like who does what when making content and films.
Yeah, sure. So, my production company started as more of a theater company. I intentionally named it Slackline Productions, not Slackline Theater, because I knew that I wanted to do a lot of different things with it. So, it's very small scale in the sense that, like basically I just get work made, really. And the same is true kind of on any scale. I mean, if you look at a film, there's a lot of producers involved a lot of times, but the one that says just producer, like it doesn't say executive producer, it doesn't say, but that's typically the person that's kind of the first in on the project. Maybe the director's, the director writer or something, but typically the producer's the person who kind of opens the door and closes the door, if you will, on a project. They're there from the beginning, they're there at the end, and they kind of make sure everything happens in between, really.
What do you love about it? Do you still get to act?
So I kind of have a really multifaceted life right now. I still find that acting is difficult to get roles. Maybe that's indicative of my talent, but I like to think not.
No.
um, I have acted in some of my own productions, which I think at first was something I really struggled with because, I was like, well, if nobody else is giving me the work, am I not good enough? Am I not, am I just here to create work for myself? And I realized that I really did want to create work for other people as well. But I also started thinking about, I don't know, other people that produce things. And, Reese Witherspoon produces things and Will Smith produces things that he's in,
And they're
and
not bad.
these are like mega, mega celebrities that still are making sure that work they want to make and be part of is getting made. So if they can do it, I think I probably can too.
Yeah, yeah. How difficult was it to start a production company?
I think a lot of people do it. I think, especially, like I said, a small scale kind of theater based thing. I think longevity is difficult because in small scale theater, and I'm saying small scale in the sense that like I do a lot of fringe, do a lot of, 100-seat theaters. This isn't like the West End or Broadway or anything. But, even in those kind of scales, it's difficult to make money. So it is something, like I said, I'm really multifaceted. I do want to go more into film because I discovered, well, I just did a master's degree in filmmaking, but I also discovered I love directing and I want to be producing and making films, but they're really expensive. So
Yeah.
there's a lot around things I don't like about producing, like fundraising.
Yes. Yes. Begging for money is sometimes very difficult.
Oh, it's horrible. And I have to say that,
Yeah.
yeah, starting a production company is easy, but actually making the work can be really challenging.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. That's so true. Anybody can hear it now. I'm a this or I do that. And then, but it's actually like taking the steps to make it sustainable. And what are you working on now?
So, I am actually, well, I'm finishing post-production on something that I directed. Sort of not, it wasn't a student project, but it was something kind of on the back of my master's degree. So I got to direct that and still working to kind of finish that up, even though it's been several months, because basically, as I mentioned about money, we're not paying people a lot, unfortunately. So we're just working with whatever time people can spare. I have a couple other films in the work that we are trying to do a bit more around fundraising, and I'm working with some writers that I originally worked with on the Slackline side of theater, but now adapting things for film. And I actually start a new job in a theater tomorrow, and I don't want to
Oh
jinx
my
it. So I'm
gosh.
going to say I'm
Okay, we
starting a new
won't, we
job
won't.
tomorrow, and I'm excited.
Well, come back and tell us how that is. That's
Okay, I definitely
exciting.
will.
It's very exciting. Um, you're also, because I feel like I love it. You do everything. When did you get into podcasting? Because that's a whole nother part of production and content. And how did that
Yeah,
come about?
so I have to say, apologies to my listeners because I did take a break around my master's degree. And I have a couple of episodes that I'm now starting to release again. So I'm looking
Good.
very forward to be more, regular back into it. But it was something where it was connected to the production company in the sense that I recognized my production company does try to get more women 35 plus onto stage and screen. And I recognized that my own experience with career change and just so many different changes in my life, I wasn't the only one doing it, but, at the time, I didn't feel like a lot of people were talking about it. So I decided I'd create the Second Chapter podcast, which was something where I do speak with women who've changed their lives or careers after 35. And it's been such an amazing mix of guests I've gotten to speak to. And it really does shed a light on the fact that, we're not stuck in these careers anymore. And there are challenges. There's tons of challenges to kind of restarting at a time in your life where you might have had kids or you might have had, to be out of the workforce for caring responsibilities. I mean, I could go on forever, but it has I certainly boosted me and my own decisions to change my life and career. And from what I
Mm,
understand from listeners, they get really inspired by some of my guests.
that's so fun. Well, you're getting back into it, but how often are you putting out episodes and like what days and where can people find it?
So typically, I was doing once a week. I've realized, again, because I'm starting a new job, because I do have so much on, I think every other week is better for me because I'd rather be regular and have people know when it's coming. So that's sort of
Mhm.
the intention now. I'm going to be releasing on Thursdays. So there'll be an episode dropped every other Thursday. And, not to be cliche, but you can find it wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
And YouTube, like, subscribe, and yeah, and share. Of course, it's called the
Exactly.
Second Chapter Podcast.
Yeah.
It's so important to talk about that stuff and to make it common instead of feeling like you're the only one going through that or you're the only one. Like especially at a certain age. I just turned 40, and you tell people you're a talk show host. Sometimes you're like, are you going to get a real person job or like what's happening, so it's nice to have conversations with people who are kind of in the same boat as you.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Um,
sometimes it's a privileged position. I mean, like I talked to a woman that's an episode coming up who said, she's really lucky because she's in a position where she doesn't have to make a ton of money on the book she's writing right now, but she does have confidence, that eventually it will pay off. And, sometimes that isn't something that you can do, but I think there are ways to make things happen when you need a change in your life. And I'm really an advocate of
yeah.
that.
So what would your advice be for people, whether or not they're 35 and older or younger, who maybe want to get into the entertainment field? Because it can be so difficult and you have to find your own way and make your own way sometimes. What would your advice be?
Yeah, I don't want to be one of those people that's like, you just have to keep trying because I do kind of think, that's not really, it's lovely to be positive, but it's not really concrete. I think one of the things that I heard, I mean, if somebody's trying to get into film, for example, one of the things I heard, which I never thought of before, but it's somebody, it was a director who's speaking and who's become very successful. Said something about being an extra or a supporting artist is what they're called now, SA, in films, which I thought, like they kind of are looked down on in a way in the UK. I think it's getting a little bit less like that. But, like if you're an actor, you're not supposed to say you do supporting work for whatever reason. Um, but what he said was that he got, paid some money. It's not, you're never going to get rich that way, but he got to work on set and he got to watch things happening.
Mm,
So it became, and that's, specifically somebody who's a director, but it became easy for him to see what was happening on sets so he could then step into roles. I went for a master's degree, which again is kind of a privileged thing to be able to do. But the reason I did it is I felt like I was producing, but there was so much I didn't know. And I just wanted some practical experience. And I got to make, some really great short films as part of it. So if you're like me and you love education, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing something like that if you can. Um, and yeah, I do think, even though I said I wasn't going to say keep trying, there is a real diligence. I mean, I see people who are plugging away, whether they're actors or they're working on sets or they're working in the theater. Um, they're kind of relentless. And I do think, maybe the squeaky wheel gets the grease or whatever, like,
yeah.
and also don't be afraid if you feel like you've plugged away and it's just not happening and it's not for you anymore. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what? I gave it a go, but there's other things that would make me happier right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. And also, I always tell people, like, make sure you're checking in with yourself, because everybody in this field thinks, I'm just going to be famous overnight, or I'm going to have my TikTok blow up, and you really have to celebrate those small things, that maybe you're not going from 0 to 100, but like maybe you jump to 30, and you should be celebrating that as well, and not necessarily just disregarding that progress
I
that you are
absolutely agree
making.
with that. I absolutely agree with that. And I think, you do hear about these overnight success stories, but 9 times out of 10, they didn't happen overnight. Probably
Yeah.
99 times out of 100, they didn't happen overnight.
You heard
So
of them overnight, but it's been the past 30 years that they've been working towards that. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. People are out there, like I said, they're knocking on doors and they're really resilient and they're really working hard to do it. Some people and sometimes it's just luck. I mean, unfortunately, you could
Mhm.
be the most talented person in the world, but that doesn't always mean it's going to happen. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's not to be a downer. It's to be like, it is something that it's a tough industry. So,
So true. Yeah. What do you love most about your life right now?
oh my goodness. That's really a crazy question. Um, I think even though sometimes it feels like I'm all over the place, I do like that I've started to really carve out multiple roles for myself. And yeah, just the fact that I get to be creative and yeah, I get to be creative and I'm working on telling stories and helping other people tell stories, which to me is the best thing in the world. That and bringing people together. Two favorite things.
Mm. I also, the next time you come here, want to talk about your life as a triathlete, because I think that's amazing. You it's
Thank you.
like you need your own like sitcom. I think is what really needs to happen. A little
I would love
documentary
it.
about Kristin Duffy.
I
Cool.
would
We'll
love
we'll
it.
start that. I know a production company that could do that. It
Sounds
has been
good.
a pleasure having you here. What's the best way that people can connect with you and follow you?
I'm on Instagram. I love Instagram. Unfortunately, I have like too many accounts on Instagram. But my main one is Kristin with an IN Duffy underscore film and theater. I also am at Slackline Productions, obviously, and the Second Chapter podcast. So all of those have their own Instagram pages. And yeah, that's probably the best way so that, you can see what's going on. Some of them I'm better at posting to than others, but there's a lot of my face on film and theater, Kristin Duffy Film and Theater, so it might be something that you want to do the other two instead.
They want it all, I promise. They want it all.
Thank you.
Have fun at your new job tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, it was really great chatting with you. Thanks for giving me a chance to share a little bit about me and hopefully spread a little positivity, hopefully making some days richer.
Yes. Come back anytime you want.
Thank you.
Sure. We'll be right back after this. Don't go away.
Tired of harsh chemicals in your home? Let's change that. At EcoGlow Cleaning, we bring eco-friendly expertise right to your doorstep. We will make your day richer by bringing a glow to your home or office. For over 20 years, EcoGlow Cleaning has been the trusted choice for professional cleaning services in the Charlotte area. From deep cleaning to regular maintenance, EcoGlow Cleaning offers a wide range of services. All services are tailored to your needs and schedule. Our eco-friendly products ensure a healthy and safe environment for you and your family, including your pets. For a free quote, visit our website at www.ecoglowcleaning.com or give us a call at 704-777-9768. EcoGlow Cleaning is a proud sponsor of Make Your Day Richer TV.
I want to thank EcoGlow Cleaning for sponsoring the show for the past couple months. That is the last time that EcoGlow Cleaning is sponsoring the show, so we thank them for their support over the last few months. If you would like to have a commercial here on the show and support, go to makeyourdayricher.com/advertising and start. It'll be real easy to join the show as a sponsor. Also, we had a comment during that from Irma, who's a hilarious comedian in San Antonio. She is not in San Antonio. She's actually in the UK, Irma. Sorry. There you go. We have a great show again tomorrow, all new in this new year. We're starting it off right with the one and only Annie Corson from the Book of Annie. You might also know her from a little show called Seinfeld. So she is here tomorrow. We're kicking off the year with her. I'm excited to meet her, and I'm excited to have you meet her as well. She is hilarious. So tune into that. Go make your day richer, everyone. Go make someone else's day richer. You've made mine by watching the show, and I can't thank you enough for it. That was also a really good time. Just share. And we'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Have a safe New Year's Eve. Bye-bye.